Hi, today I'm going to show you how to lose weight during menopause naturally. First of all, there's going to be a few key things that's going to make a huge difference in you being able to lose weight. 4 of them exactly. The main thing that you're going to do is number 1, you're going to increase your activity. Now I know you've probably started to exercise, but in reality, how much are you actually sitting down? The more sedentary you are, the less metabolically active you are, the more likely whatever you put in your mouth is going to turn into body fat. And when you're menopausal, your metabolism is naturally lower. In order to increase your metabolism, you need to be more active. So the first thing I want you to do is get a step counter, either a Fitbit or put on a pedometer, and start recording your steps. How many steps do you take during the day? And I want you to increase those steps by 10% every week. That includes any exercise you're doing, anything you're doing, parking far away from a grocery mall. Anything you're doing counts. Increase that activity. Keep increasing it slowly but surely until you can start to maintain a weight loss and get back down to your ideal weight. The other aspect of activity is make sure you do have some type of regimented exercises included in your week. For instance, a high intensity training 3 times a week, a long slow distance once a week to burn fat. I've included all of these exercise modules, the formulas to hit, as well as the long slow distance in my hormone reboot training, and you can sign up right here. Now the second thing you're going to do is you're really going to try and match your carbs to the amount of activity that you're actually doing. Now if you're a very active person, you're going to need a lot more carbs, but because you're menopausal and you're trying to lose weight, what you want to do is follow that amount of grams of carbs for your activity and being overweight. So if you're grossly overweight, obese, and you're sedentary, you only need 15 grams of carb per meal. That's 45 grams per day in order to lose that weight. If you're more active and just overweight, maybe 30 grams per carbs per meal or 90 grams per day. Any more than that and you're going to store into body fat. Now, so unless you're running marathons, you're doing triathlons, you don't need that many carbs. So the rest of your calories are coming from protein and from fat. The third step in order to lose weight in menopause naturally is I want you to start to address any emotional eating. Now that's really key. And I'm going to tell you a little story to kind of prove this point. I had a woman I was working with all through her menopause. She had gained weight in menopause. She never was overweight before that. But over 10 years going through menopause, she had put on quite a bit of weight. And every diet and exercise regime that we started her on helped her to lose weight. I even got her started on Genesis Gold, which actually helped her to really balance out her hypothalamus and allowed her to lose weight a little bit more accurately, more efficiently, without trying so hard. But she'd always gained the weight back. After a couple months of using the Genesis Gold, she had some awareness about what was going on. What she found is that whenever she lost weight, she got a lot of attention from other men. And that made her feel really uncomfortable and made her very, very nervous about maybe even stepping out in her marriage. And she didn't want to do that. So she decided that she would tell me about this, and we did a little bit of counseling, and I got her and her husband into marital counseling, and she was able to start to realize what was happening and how she was sabotaging her own weight loss efforts. Once that happened, with exercise, increased activity, eating less carbohydrates, and Genesis Gold, she was able to keep it off because she had addressed why she was sabotaging herself. So that is really key. Pay attention to when you're eating more than you should be eating, things that you know you shouldn't be eating, and why you might be doing that. Are you emotionally eating? Start to keep a journal. It makes a huge difference in your ability to address emotional eating, which oftentimes will sabotage us. And number 4, balance out your hypothalamus. If you do not balance your hypothalamus, you cannot reset your weight set point. Your weight set point is your ideal weight. But if you've been at a higher weight for a while and your hypothalamus thinks this is what the kind of calories I'm getting and this is the amount of activity I'm getting and just kind of holds you there, it's going to take time and a lot of effort to reset your hypothalamus. You can do that a lot more easily by taking Genesis Gold to support, and you can get it right here, to support your hypothalamus so that your menopausal weight loss will stay down. You'll get back to your ideal weight and you'll be able to maintain it. It is not going to happen overnight. Your hypothalamus takes 2 to 3 months to reset, and when you're menopausal, it could take 3 to 6 months totally. But you're going to see a huge difference in your efforts to exercise, lower those carbohydrates, address your emotional eating by balancing your hypothalamus. The weight loss will stick and you'll be able to maintain a thin physique throughout menopause. Thank you.